Hello, and welcome back to Haven of Horrors after a particularly long, unplanned hiatus. I'm very sorry about that. I had some personal things to deal with that I couldn't really work around and be here for my cast, and I didn't want to provide you or them with a less than well done session, so to speak. So we took a couple of not weeks, but like sessions off so that I could re situate my whole situation. So thank you for coming back. Um, I will do a little bit of a more thorough recap than I usually do today because we haven't played for so long. But before I do that, we're going to do introductions. I'm Rue. I use they or he pronouns, and I will be your game master for this afternoon. Birdie, what do you do next?
Sure. Hello. My name is Birdie, and I will be playing Maria today.
How about we slide over to Ro?
Hey, Ro, I play Alina. My pronouns are they, them, but Alina's pronouns are she, hers.
And Kestrel?
Hers.
Hi, I'm Kestrel. I use the zone Zers pronouns, and I will be playing Apia, who uses they, them, theirs pronouns.
We do have a fourth player, Ari, who is not presently with us, but may be joining us a little bit later, partway through the session. If he does, I will let him do his introductions and things then, just so that you all know who he is when he gets here. But for the morning, we'll say that Vivian is taking the morning off. Maybe she's going to have a spa day.
Doing Vivian things.
Or she's buried in the stacks and you just can't find her because she's so deep in the archive.
Who knows what Vivian does?
Lost in the sauce.
So, when last we left our investigators, they had finished up dealing with another case that centered the spiral, featuring a book that stole your front door, for lack of a better descriptor, and gave it to the spiral essentially. So you couldn't use your own front door anymore. And they and it was Apia who, using their I don't want to. What's the phrase you used, Kestrel?
Headspace?
Yes.
Is that okay?
Apia was able to, using their headspace, walk into the spiral and keep themselves grounded, and walk our statement giver back out and into the sanctity and safety of their own home. And while we were investigating this case, Alina decided to walk into the spiral as well, metaphysically, by astral projecting into the spiral, essentially, to look for both our victim and anything else helpful or useful that she might be able to find in the spiral, as the spiral tends to take things and people and just kind of hoard them. And in there, she ran into Laura, who was our previous spiral avatar that we ran into, a painter who paints paintings that suck you into the spiral, and essentially made an offer to Laura in the interest of keeping peace and keeping a balance, which Alina desperately wants. Maybe not desperately, just would like to not have to deal with the consequences of it not being balanced. Alina offered Laura a truce of sorts if Laura were to give her useful information or help on entities or groups that got a little out of hand. Then Alina wouldn't old lady gun meme her, essentially. Because that's what Alina is the old lady gun meme. And Laura didn't give you necessarily a straight answer. It's not really her style. But you thought that maybe there might be a chance she would be willing to help. Not maybe so much help you, but help herself by helping you, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah. It's a regular day at the office. whatever that means.
That doesn't
Um,
mean much.
Doesn't mean much. Somewhere on some floor, an accountant might be having a regular day at the office.
God, I wish that were me.
Should have applied for the accounting division of the spooky zone. Spooky accounting.
Or is monster hunting tax deductible?
You know, a couple of you don't legally exist, so I don't think you're paying taxes. I doubt this company made you fill out your I-9s and W-2s.
Right.
Actually, Harani might have, but just because she really likes paperwork. So it doesn't necessarily mean that, like, it's filed legally. There is one filed for you.
Right.
But yeah, so it's a normal day at the office, except Vivian is an undisclosed location. How are the rest of you doing this fine, whatever day of the week you want it to be, morning?
Just vibing.
Apia is, as usual, tired.
Yeah.
Alina is learning Braille at the office as
Ooh.
a threat.
As a threat. Okay. I love that for her.
I thought about it the other day and I was like, yes, this is really good.
That's really good. I also really appreciate your use of company time to learn Braille. I think that's a good idea.
Of course.
What?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get paid
Alina
for
is
this.
practically the only one that actually works there. So if at some point she wants to take some time off on company time, I think, what are they going to say?
I mean,
I work.
I mean, it is old lady working at an office energy. They can't fire me at this point, so.
she's got the equivalent of tenure.
Right.
Takes a unanimous vote from the board that doesn't exist to fire Alina. But yeah, it's a normal morning. Damien has been here since last night, 4 weeks ago.
Better be.
Unclear.
Fair enough.
They
Promise.
leave very rarely and not recently. He's been doing a lot of research lately and not building weird spider structures in the office, which is good. Making an effort to not build weird web structures in the office. But yeah, at about probably like 10:30, a time when he feels that everyone is ready to be in the office, he calls you all into the conference room as usual to read the statement. If anyone has anything you'd like to do before that?
No, I think I'm
I
good.
brought coffee for everybody because I'm nice.
Oh,
Sick.
Thank you, Maria.
You're welcome.
That's very nice of you.
Apia
doesn't drink
takes it
coffee?
in addition to the cup they already have.
Damien will
You
set
can have
his-
my
his
coffee too
tea
because
aside.
Alina only drinks tea.
Oh,
Oh.
I feel like Maria would have known that and brought her
Yeah, I
tea.
also brought tea.
If
I don't think
anyone
so.
knows
No,
everyone's tea. and-
Alina only drinks tea that she makes.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't think
everyone
Alina.
else makes
I
it
don't think
bad.
Alina wants my beverage assistance.
Alina's worried that someone's going to kill someone else using her tea. Not necessarily her, but someone else. I mean, Alina's not afraid of anything, technically.
Statement.
Right.
All right, so we sit down. For anyone new here or people who haven't been here for a while, the statements are always the heaviest content warning section. So I like to do a verbal reminder of those content warnings so that you can take a step back if you need to. And then I will also make a statement when we have finished the bulk of the reading. The content warnings will remain throughout, but not to the same extent as they are during the statement. So today's content warnings include being buried alive, claustrophobia, abandonment, a loss of time or time dilation, unsanitary things such as broken nails and blood, and panic attacks. So, if any of those things are particularly triggering or upsetting to you, please feel free to step back and make this a safe space for you to enjoy your day and not be left feeling actually scared by our fun, scary game. And I will let you all know when the statement is completed. Statement of Althea St. Clair regarding an unfortunate stumble in a graveyard. The dirt under my fingernails won't go away. It started last week when Eric convinced all of us to go down to the graveyard to steal some stupid bouquet for closing night. He said it was tradition and that all of the newbies had to pass some sort of initiation. You ever been in a graveyard at midnight? I can't recommend it. There are people there, and they might be resting, but it feels like any minute they might not be anymore. Maybe I just watched too many zombie movies. There were 5 of us, and Eric made each of us run around the graveyard and find bouquets of flowers. We had to take them off the graves. The fresher, the better. It felt wrong, you know? Stealing flowers from dead people. Someone left them there. But I wasn't about to be the only person who didn't participate and get snubbed by the whole rest of the troop. So I tried finding a grave that looked less tended, where someone might not come back and notice the flowers missing right away. I didn't really care if the flowers I picked were too old. I couldn't bring myself to steal from those recent, well-tended graves. Someone definitely visits those every day. I ended up somewhere in the back corner of the cemetery, near where the older graves are. You know, the ones from the 1800s, founding members of the town or whatever, historical graves. I don't know if any of these families are still in town, but someone comes by and puts simple bouquets on all of them about once a month. Probably just a service at the cemetery or maybe some local church. It must have been pretty recently that someone came by with flowers for all the old graves, because about half of them had little bouquets down at the base of the gravestones. I walked between the cracked headstones and twisting vines, looking for the freshest, nicest of the old bouquets. I ended up finding some fairly nice ones, still wrapped with ribbons, most of the petals on the flowers. I had to clamber over some crisscrossing tree roots to get to it. The grave was really out of the way. Flowers in hand, I started making my way back to the more modern part of the graveyard, where I could hear everyone else laughing and calling out to each other. Genuinely, it's a wonder none of the houses up against the cemetery called the cops on us. That much noise in a graveyard at night, you'd expect some bad calls. I was so excited to be getting out of there that I didn't really look where I was going. My foot must have gotten caught on a root or a piece of a rock or something. I tripped and fell face first into the dirt. When I caught my fall, I wound up further down than I thought I would. It's not like there are open graves in the graveyard, especially not in the historical section. But there was dirt all around me, like I'd fallen into a hole rather than just across the ground. I'll admit it, I started to panic. I already didn't want to be here, and falling into a hole I didn't notice was not changing that. I shouted for help, sure one of my friends would hear me and make their way over to me, but no matter how loud I yelled, no one yelled back, and no flashlights made their way over to me. In fact, I couldn't even hear them anymore. I stopped my struggling and shouting, listening harder. No footsteps, no laughter, no calls of names from behind graves. For a moment, I couldn't hear anything at all. And then all the noises crept into my awareness, just not noises I had been looking for. Beneath my feet there was a groaning, something I could almost feel more than hear, like the earth itself was shifting and buckling, more but more pressing. From all around me there was a trickling and a hissing sound, the quiet clicking and swooshing of dirt and rock and sand sliding downward, falling into empty space. The hole I'd fallen into was closing in around me. My feet were already covered. Had they been pulled down into the earth beneath me? Or had the dirt trickling in just filled in over them while I called out for help? Frantic, I dug my hands into the sides of the hole, trying to clamber my way out. I couldn't find any purchase. The dirt seemed to slide right from under my hands, nothing to claw my fingers into. And the weight of the dirt and rock and sand on my feet, my ankles, my calves, my knees just kept piling up. I could feel my nails breaking, desperate to find something to hold on to in the slipping, sinking pit. My breaths were coming short and fast, the world spinning, all the air I could get into my lungs immediately coming out as shrieks and screams, begging for someone to help, for someone to remember me. My hand slid up through the dirt, coated in mud and dust and sand, and another hand took a hold of it and pulled me up. The weight of the dirt off of my chest, I took a full breath for the first time since falling. Whoever helped me up was nowhere to be found, and the hole I'd fallen into was sealed up behind me. The only sign that had actually fallen in, a bouquet half buried in the dirt, now mangled and covered. I picked up the bouquet and hurried out of the graveyard. Everyone else was gone, left me behind. And when I got home, it was well past 2 a.m. I'd been in that hole for hours. And now I can't wash the dirt from my hands. I can't shake the sensation, the tightness in my chest, and the weight pulling me down. That's the end of the statement. So the worst of the triggering content is past. There will still be mentions of claustrophobia and graveyards and things like that, but it won't be quite so in depth. So if those are things that you can handle in moderation, you can take a step back in. If not, please continue to keep yourself safe. Thank you.
Spooky.
Correct.
It's almost kind of refreshing that it's a graveyard. I mean, those are supposed to be spooky. They're
Yeah, it's not somewhere normal like a library this time.
or someone's house.
That's true. We've had a ridiculous number of times having to go to someone's house.
We don't have to break in anywhere.
I guess you kind of have to break into a graveyard if it's like nighttime, but during the day, no. Yeah. You look contemplative, Alina. What's up?
It jumped at me during the reading that someone or something was there to save this person, but not afterwards. That's what I think grabs my attention the most. On the whole, this experience doesn't necessarily strike me as that unnatural. Like falling into a hole and having a panic attack seems pretty mundane, but there could be some influence for. I don't think it's anything necessarily death related. In my experience, cemeteries are usually not that strong in that department. Nobody dies at a cemetery, essentially. Even though
That sounds like a
I suppose
challenge.
people. What?
That sounds like
It's in my
you're
to-do
about
list.
to
No.
jinx something.
People usually don't die at a cemetery. It's not like a hospital is much more likely to have, for example, ghosts in it because people die there all the time.
Nobody dies in a cemetery. Me. Is that a challenge?
But I'm thinking about who or what saved that person.
Got them out of the hole, presumably.
I wonder who's leaving the flowers.
Oh,
That feels important.
could be, but it's not unusual for if the graves are somewhat historic. It wouldn't be unusual for just the city to do it. But we can look into it.
I can Google things.
Only you.
Only me.
I can't go near a computer.
That's actually why you hired me, I think. My
We
driver's
hired you
license
because you can
and my
drive and because you can use a computer.
We hired you for more reasons than that.
I find Maria a valued member of the team.
Thank you, Alina.
I didn't say that in character. I just think it's
Yeah.
funny.
I don't even know if I'm saying things in character either.
But I think that before you Google anything, we should check the cemetery because, like, what are you going to Google
I
on?
hold
Like,
up my
who
cell phone.
puts
I hold
who
up my cell
puts
phone and
flowers on
say,
graves?
I can Google things at the cemetery.
Look, kid, I'm like 100 years old. Don't sass me.
This
Google is now portable.
Sure.
Google in your pocket.
provided the cemetery has phone service, which hopefully it does, you can Google things from the cemetery.
Gotta start carrying around a pocket Wi-Fi.
Right.
That's
Pay
a
for
thing.
A
pay for one of those
hotspot.
very fancy hotspots, yeah.
There,
I'm thinking before we go to the cemetery, we maybe. I don't understand what kind of initiation this was. That wasn't like the context of this initiation wasn't in the statement.
It was not particularly, no.
We could do a follow-up, I suppose, to ask about
On
that
that.
because it also could be some sort of cult activity.
Cult
It's not like
thing.
we haven't found a number of those, way too many.
Yeah.
Like one in the city would be much, but we have found so far how many evil cults? Evil cult.
3 question mark? Between 2 and 3.
Do the spiders count?
Yeah, exactly.
Spider cults?
If the spiders count, then 3.
Right. So we could do a follow-up and go to the cemetery.
if the statement giver is dead,
Also, it seems to
that
be like
would make it spookier.
it seems to be like an ongoing effect with the can't get the dirt out of the nails. So yeah, I will call on the phone.
Make a phone call. Your favorite
I have it like
activity.
right
Calling
Give me a
on your old timey phone.
now that Ari isn't here to. I dropped a giant Godzilla egg while
Oh, is it
trying to
okay?
get my phone. It suffered no damage.
Perfect.
It's a sturdy egg. The baby
Thank
Godzilla
God.
fell out. So I'll take
Oh.
my big phone now that Ari isn't here to one-up me with the phone collection. Cool.
So you're calling the statement giver themselves?
If we have the phone number, yeah. Otherwise, this entire bit is for nothing.
I'm calling no one. Yeah, you can call the statement giver themselves. It
I
rings
guess
a
we could
couple.
also call the cemetery, but if we're going there, it's
You can also call the cemetery if you want to.
at least to know the visiting hours.
Yeah. Which could be found on Google, but you can also call them.
Or wouldn't that be on the statement also, like the address of the thing?
The address and things are on there. I don't know that they would have included the visiting hours of the cemetery. The statement giver was
Googled
not
it.
really.
I got the visiting hours right here.
Thanks, Maria.
I didn't even have to click the website because Google now has it on the sidebar. We're
Now
good.
help
It's
me,
just an
ad
help
for
me open
Google.
this PDF.
that's part of my human job in real life, is telling people over the phone how to open PDFs.
Oh.
Good God, I'm so sorry.
I run our community center's tech support program. It's pretty great. But yeah, so you call the statement giver and it rings like a couple of times, a reasonable human number of times, like not like someone's right by the phone, but not like they're ignoring you either. Before someone answers me. Hello.
Hello, my name is Alina. I'm with the Ravenwood Institute. I want to say is that name.
It is, yeah.
The Ravenwood Institute, regarding a statement someone named Althea gave us.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't think you'd get back to me.
Well, that's what I'm doing. Um, First of all, I wanted to ask if the effects of your experience are ongoing. The dirt you mentioned.
Yes, ongoing and not getting better.
Right. Uh, well, we are. Mm, I had a couple of questions. I just wanted to assure you that we are going to investigate this, especially now that you've confirmed that the effects are ongoing. First of all, what in your statement you neglected to mention what in what the initiation you were participating in was for?
Oh, I joined an avant-garde theater group and then left an avant-garde theater group.
Yeah, I imagine that after that experience, you wouldn't want to be around that.
Yeah, that was what that was for.
Have there been any other effects other than dirt on your nails, being unable to remove it?
There's dirt in my shoes.
Right.
Like, not. There's always dirt, like, in my shoes, but I can't pour it out, or if I do, it just fills back up with dirt.
Right. I understand. Um, hmm. If you would like to give us your address, we can check in on you after checking the site. Would that be okay with you?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Uh, I live at 1372 North Elms, and I live in the basement.
Probably want to see to change that soon.
I'm looking into it. Yeah.
Smart. Well, don't worry, we are on the case, as they
Thank
say.
you. I appreciate it.
Ideally, we will see you later today.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Goodbye. Lena is very bad at comforting people.
That's fine.
Okay. Well, I turn to the group and the subject is alive,
That's good.
so that's something.
Anything
That's
And the
else?
last time
a
we
strong
dealt,
point.
and the last time we dealt with an entity like this, it went well. If the entity is the same one we faced that time.
Which one are you referring to?
How would Alina call that entity? Because I don't want to just refer to the entities in the same way like the canon does.
Yeah.
I think Alina would put her own spin on it, but I'll think about that and then I'll
Yeah.
come up with a list. Dirt. No.
Dirt.
The buried. Dirt. The buried.
Apia makes a kind of face.
The spooky dirt man.
What?
You okay? You okay, Pia?
Don't like being in the dirt. And that's all Apia says on that.
Maria is confused by this because Apia is constantly covered with dirt,
Yeah.
but not gonna question it. It is your right to be uncomfortable.
Anyway.
It's my right to be uncomfy.
I support
Everyone wanna-
Apia being uncomfortable. Me too.
Anyone want to go to the cemetery?
No, but we're gonna.
At least
I mean,
we're not breaking and entering.
For one. for once.
Unless you want to go at midnight, in which case we will be breaking and entering.
No.
We can
I
go.
think
We can.
need to-
Apia says we can start during the day and then see if we need to do something else.
And then we don't leave
At all?
ever.
Move into the cemetery. Good plan.
I
I'm
wouldn't
gonna
call it
veto.
moving.
I'm gonna veto that. I don't want to do that. You can do that, but I have a cat to get home to.
You can take your cat.
Take
cat
your
is-
cat to the cemetery. Take your cat to the cemetery. Lose your cat in the cemetery.
I value you all as treasured friends and coworkers, but none of you are allowed near my cat.
Damn.
I accept
I
that.
needed you a sweater.
You
Which is
also
probably
kill
now.
people.
And?
She's never
Well,
killed a cat.
Sorry, and you don't?
Point taken.
Yeah. Let's go.
As far as you're all aware, Damien and Maria are equal in the number of people they've killed.
I don't
it
like
higher
the
than one?
implications of that statement.
Is it higher than 0?
Is it higher than 0? Who
Is
knows?
it? Maria doesn't.
But yeah. Are you all
Let's,
heading to the cemetery?
Is Damien coming or?
Yeah. This kind of thing Damien can come along for. Also, he may or may not have been scolded about the fact that they have not left the archive in over a week and should probably see the outside every once in a while.
Damien's gonna get a vitamin D deficiency if he's not careful.
Right. That was what I was about to say.
I
Yeah.
think Damien already has a vitamin D deficiency, but also bigger problems.
Yeah, the vitamin deficiency is kind of at the bottom of the list of various problems that Damien has. But you are correct. They do definitely have several vitamin deficiencies. But
Such is the pursuit of the academic look.
yeah. Looking like
They
you
don't.
haven't
They
slept.
call it dark academia for a reason.
The dark shadows under the eyes. Yeah, you can all hop into the car, which Maria is capable and skilled at driving.
Legally allowed.
So
Not
so
going
far.
to crash.
I mean, we haven't gotten into a car chase yet.
Yet.
Yeah, so Maria will drive to the cemetery, presumably without incident.
Yeah, nope, it doesn't take you very long to get there. Like 20
nice-
minutes.
Nice drive.
What does Maria listen to in the car?
Taylor Swift.
Nice.
Alina hates it in here.
Well, then Alina can get a driver's license.
No, she can't.
I'm not allowed to.
You're
I'm
all
like
you are all
95,
captives in
I
my
think.
Taylor Swift prison.
Apia doesn't normally listen to music, but they are contemplating whether or not they should start so that they can discover something other than this.
There has to be more to music than this.
There has to be
Apia,
more than
there must be more.
I'll be waiting. All that's left to do.
the
is
MCA. We get removed from Twitch.
Birdie, no, you're gonna get us banned!
Yeah, it takes you about 7 or 8 Taylor Swift songs to make it to the cemetery.
My favorite unit of measurement.
It's open because it's daytime. Most cemeteries are open like a general like 9 to 5 ish with like some variation, or like until sunset. Some places will be open. Most cemeteries are just closed during the dark hours. so that people don't trip and die, and also so they don't have to pay a groundskeeper to be there all the time. Yeah, but the gates are open, and you can drive in and park like in a centralized parking area where the like paths go off of and things like that. It's not a super huge cemetery. It's not one of those like really big, like I don't know, like massive city cemeteries. It's a smaller one. It takes up the equivalent of probably like a whole block. So like 1 block long, 1 block wide.
I just realized that Alina looks the like one of those professional mourners.
She's been
She has
paid to
like
be here. Yeah.
that's her style. She looks like she's paid to be here and just be spooky around the cemetery.
A fun fact on top of professional mourners, which were like a thing because you wanted people to look like you were sad. They were sad when you died, like that was a thing. But there were also professional mourners who were hired by grave robbers to cry through the night at the grave and cover up the sound and sight of them digging up the grave. So you would hire some other professional mourners to cry and surround the grave while you dug up and stole the body.
And that's why Alina is
Sick.
no longer allowed in England. No.
But yeah, that's a fun and cool tidbit of information from me
Interesting.
knowing too much about Victorian grave robbing.
Things
that
I know
one I
now.
didn't know.
But yeah, you arrive at the cemetery, and like the front and century zone is the like new zone, so like the last 50 to 100 years or so, and then like the old styley zone is sort of gated off, not like locked, but like there is a gate around it and a little path that goes through it.
Okay, I'm going to go check on the general region where the incident would have happened.
Yeah. I'm gonna take a walk to the back where the historical graves are. It's like darker back here by virtue of there are more trees. There are trees planted decoratively throughout the cemetery, but back here it seems they're kind of left in their natural growth. Like they weren't cut down to make room for these graves because there were so few. So there are like actual like trees intermittently throughout the graves.
Right.
And the gravestones themselves age range anywhere from like the earliest being like the late 1700s, early 1800s through the mid 1800s. So the like latest you'd find someone who died here is like the 1850s. Some of them are well maintained. Some of them are not. Some of them are quite cracked and like the names have been worn away by weathering and age and things like that. And some of them are very like well kept. Like either they were made better when they were made, or they've been replaced and refurbished over time. And there are little there are fewer of them and they look more trashed, but there are little like bouquets laid on the graves.
Cool. This seems like a weird question, but which one of you is better at investigating?
We have stats for that.
Right, but it's a weird question to ask in character. I'll rephrase.
Apia has experience with bones.
I'll rephrase that. APA is better at beating ass as far as I've seen. So APA, watch over my body while I astrally project, looking for things in the other side.
Sounds good to me.
Maria, you go alone to see if you can find anything that a casual.
You can bring me with you so you're not alone, Maria.
I'll go with Damien, who's here.
Oh, right, Damien is here.
I know I'm short, but I am here.
Short people rights. We've established that Maria and Damien are the
Well,
same height.
Same height.
If there are any monsters around, you too will be harder to spot.
Yeah.
Or we can stack and defeat them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Try.
Like a short person
Voltron.
Voltron.
Person Voltron. That's just me in real life with my friends who are also short. Yeah. So you're gonna astral project while APM makes sure no one ganks you, and
Right.
Maria and Damien wander around the cemetery.
You know, fun family time.
Which would we like to do first?
Let's
Good
astral-
with either.
Let's astral project first.
You.
That's astral projection sounds.
Woo! Forgive me for forgetting my own game that I wrote. Can you see ghosts while you astral project?
I don't know. I assume I assume I would be able to because none of my other powers explicitly say that they allow me to see ghosts. So if there are ghosts or any other kind of intangible thing, I assume that
Probably you
astral
can see them,
projecting
yeah.
is like the way to find them.
So you leave your body and float around as you are at this point comfortable doing. I feel like it's just something you do every like couple of days. It's pretty
She's
powerful.
been doing it for years.
And
do I have to roll anything?
I don't think
Not
so.
necessarily to activate the power, but to like investigate
I think yes. Once you are in a graveyard, so like there is more energy here than you're used to. Not necessarily like hauntings, because a lot of people in graveyards are buried like safely, and therefore they're not really they don't haunt things as much. There are still ghosts in graveyards, but not to the same extent as like you said, hospitals and places where like violent, horrible deaths happen. But yeah, so because there is just sort of like a huge sort of a vast range of energy that you are receiving when you astral project in the graveyard, if you would like to roll power to sort of like sort through that for me.
Double 6 and plus 3, so that's
Jesus,
a 15.
the 15. You are become
I own
death.
this cemetery.
This is your cemetery now. Congratulations.
I established dominance over the ghosts.
You've got an army of ghosts that follow you around and do your bidding now. Congrats.
I will be in
Make them
character.
dig the graves up for you. You've totally succeeded. So like, what do you want to find? Like, what exactly are you looking for?
I want to see if I think Alina at this point, being someone that's been having death powers for the many decades, would at this point, like she's a career monster hunter, as odd as that sounds, but at this point she would know what to look for if she wanted to see something that was, not where it belonged. So I'm looking for any kind of odd energy or odd manifestation of an entity.
So you sort of sift through. Again, a lot of the things here are your entity related. There are ghosts who feel like they were shifted and like slighted in some way in life, who are just kind of like not happy about it, but not like unhappy to the point where they're going to be doing anything. They're just kind of moping around or waiting for someone or something. But as you like sort of make your way into the like center of this older zone, and you have a little more trouble, like you would rather, if you were using your physical body, have more trouble like walking here. The ground's not as even. There are vines and like tree roots and cracked marble and things like that. A less taken care of section of the cemetery. where like the older graves have started kind of like really deteriorating. And you like physically can see it, but metaphysically can like feel it. um, there is like a grave with that compared to everything around here is like freshly turned dirt, which is weird for all of the old graves. Obviously, no one's been buried here in over 100 years. Um, but in the same sense that like it's freshly turned because it's turning, like it's not solid and stable. There's like
Oh.
you can't physically see it moving, but you know from what you can feel from the
Yeah, it
like
feels active. It
it
feels like
feels
alive.
active. Yes. So it feels as if the dirt itself is essentially like what the energy feels like is the dirt on the top is getting pulled to the bottom and the dirt from the bottom is being pushed to the top in sort of a cycle. And there is like nothing like living in that area, like all the grass and moss has been pulled into the hole.
Right. Probably should do something about that.
The other sort of like not necessarily as like loud or like bright as the obvious hole that is eating dirt um, is like several of the graves in the surrounding area seem to be like getting pulled towards it.
What?
Hmm?
Sorry, describe that again.
Like not so much like a magnet, but like a tilt. The graves surrounding seem to be being pulled in towards that zone as well.
Right, and this hole, this grave, does it have like a gravestone or is it just like a hole?
There is a cracked and like broken and fallen over headstone. It doesn't have a complete headstone, but it does have a cracked headstone that you can float over to read if you would like.
I would like to, yeah.
The gravestone is cracked down the not quite middle, but like middle-ish, um, and you can see that the name on it is Rupert Crane with a Y where the after the A, so Crayne. And he died in 1857.
Hmm. Are there any ghosts around, like this area?
There are a couple, not any like again not particularly loud ones, but there are a couple that sort of like linger here. There is one person here who feels lonely in the sense that you think that maybe they were waiting for someone to be buried with them who never was, and there are a couple others who are like angry that they're dead, sort of thing.
So I'm going.
There isn't a ghost at the grave you're standing at.
No, I'm working on the theory that whoever was buried here left. That's what
Fair.
I'm thinking. So I'm going to go over to the ghost that seems like the most approachable.
Probably the lonely one. The agitated ones are kind of
Yeah,
like
like
grumpy.
in media, there's usually like a ghost that seems to be in like a permanent panic attack. I wouldn't go to that kind of ghost because
Yeah.
they have to deal with their stuff.
They've got their own stuff to handle. We'll let them
Yeah.
stay over there.
But if like there's like a chill ghost like Casper, I will go.
Yeah, there's like a sad, lonely ghost that you can go and approach, who is surprised that you can see him. Like a very clear surprise when you walk over.
Might enjoy the company.
You're almost as old as he
If I
is.
end up adopting another ghost, because this has happened to me in RPGs.
I thought you meant Alina specifically.
Oh,
I mean,
it
Alina,
certainly
sure,
has.
Yeah, she has.
Alina's got some ghost kids just chilling in the house.
I had a character once that was specifically that. It was a guy that went around and like finding ghosts and going like, "Hey, what's your unfinished business?" Ghost does it. Bye, and adopting just ghost kids everywhere.
Aw.
Fun guy.
Yeah, you can approach the lonely ghost who is shocked that you can see him because no
Uh,
one can except for the other ghosts.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm looking for something or someone, and I could use your help. Have you been around here long?
They kind of snort and like gesture to the like they're like sitting up against a gravestone behind them, and it says they died in 1814.
Yeah, a while. Yeah, I. You would be shocked to know how familiar I am with your situation. Now that I think about it.
Sorry, maybe.
No, I'm fine. Uh,
Oh,
anyway,
all right, fair.
I'm just saying that I know I have known people in your situation.
Not personally understood.
Right. Like other ghosts. Anyway, uh, I point to the hole like, do you know what happened here?
Someone fell in a few days ago.
Right. Um, I'm investigating that. But what I was actually asking was if you knew how it got like this. Also, if you could tell me who pulled that person out, that would be also helpful.
Uh, they're here from time to they're here from time to time. I don't know. I don't think they can see us.
Was
I've
it
never talked to them.
was it perchance a blind woman?
Hmm.
A blind
Could
woman.
you could yeah? Sorry. Could you repeat that?
A blind woman
Uh, yeah,
who pulled on
probably.
who pulled the other person out?
I mean, I've never talked to her, so I don't know if she's blind, but she does walk with a cane. Not like a seeing cane, not a walking
Alina
cane.
sort of for the first time in this entire stream, she has like an emotion. She was like, she's here from time to time.
Yeah.
You've been very helpful. Thank you.
Okay.
Is anyway, did you know what happened here? Like how this got, the earth is now churning it? Churning, what a
I'm.
nice word.
That is the word I was looking for, and I couldn't think of. Thank you,
Sure.
bro. um, I'm not sure. The headstone broke a few months ago. Sometimes when the stones break, the ghosts get mad and things end up
Was
like
there
this.
a ghost there before? Like this,
Uh,
what was the name? Rupert
Rupert
Crane?
Crane.
Was there a Rupert Crane around?
I think so.
Hmm.
Some of us don't talk as much as the others, but older gentlemen, kind of nice.
I wonder where this Rupert Crane is now.
Not sure. Some of the ghosts just come and go. Some of us are more stuck than others. Some leave. We're not necessarily tied to where we are.
Oh, I know. Uh, what's your name?
Does it matter?
Maybe I can help you.
Corsair.
Corsa. Beautiful name.
Thank you.
Do you want to leave? Rest?
Sometimes.
Is there anything specific you would like to? I don't know if do, but happen. Something that you would like to happen.
There's someone I can never see again, and moving on wouldn't change that.
Hmm. Would you like me to look into what happened to this person, maybe?
I doubt you'd find anything.
I can try.
Kind of you. But you don't have to.
I know I don't, but you helped
Now we're
me.
all
and-
curious.
Now we all need to know.
but you helped me, and maybe I can return the favor.
Well, I doubt you'll find anything. But if you want to look into a person named Armand, who died the year before I did, you can.
I will, and I'll get back to you.
You don't have
Thank
to,
you.
but thank you.
Thank
They
you.
just sort of go back to settling against the gravestone.
I'll de-manifest.
Zoop! Back into the body.
Do you want to do the other
Yeah,
thing?
we can walk around.
So
Sorry we made
Maria-
you come. Sorry we made you come to a graveyard.
This is like the least weird thing this is the least weird field trip that I've been on so far. It's fine. I think kind of got over it after the darkness cult meeting at the theater.
That would do it, probably. Actually,
That-
for me, I think the spiders would have done it.
Oh, the spiders were. You can rationalize that.
Can you?
Sure.
These are these people. They're full of spiders.
I don't know. It just seemed like a weird new job. Once you're actually there when the spookiness, I guess, is happening and there's people all around you that are really into it, it stops being a novelty and it just starts being your life.
Different once you actually see that other people are actively involved.
And then I kind of pulled all the skin off my arms by accident. And now we just.
Are you okay, by the way? I haven't checked in a while.
Weirdly, yes. I've been thinking a lot about what Apia said earlier. Not Apia, oh my god. Alina. There's too many A names in this group. Someone pulled her out. She's okay because someone pulled her out.
Mm-hmm.
And these creatures, entities, gods, whatever, really have a hold on people. But the thing that I do pulls people out.
Yeah, I heard about what you did for the statement giver covered in goo.
The statement giver, I helped Alina once. I
Mhm.
helped Apia once. I felt like I was trapped inside my body for so long. And I mean, I guess by now you know what it's like because you've stood next to me long enough. Sorry about the whole kidnapping thing. I didn't do that, but you know what I mean. Psychic.
It's not the worst I've been through.
But anyway, what I'm trying to say is I don't have to be trapped in it if I can ground other people with it. It's weird and scary, but I can actually do something good here, and that makes it kind of worth it.
I think about it sometimes when I'm researching about the number of cases where people get help that they aren't expecting. And I think about the fact that none of the entities expect people to help each other.
Yeah.
I think you're too good to work here, but I think we're lucky to have you.
I don't think I have a choice anymore.
No.
I think I'm kind of stuck with everyone else, so
Yeah.
we'll make the best of it, and hopefully 10 years from now I can still Google things for everyone.
I think you'll be okay on the Googling front.
Yeah, my it's weird though. I used to be really into like all the books and research and cerebral part of this. The more I get, the more I'm actually putting my hands on things, the less it feels like it matters. And I know you have your whole knowledge thing, but
Yeah, the way
I think what I do is a little simpler than that. Your apartment gave me a headache.
Oh. I'm sorry about that. I think it does that to everyone.
Don't apologize. There was a time I would have been following those. I would have been following those too. It's a new perspective.
Yeah. Thank
Hey,
you.
When you're researching,
Mm-hmm.
if you find anyone else that does something like what I can do, could you let me know? Because I tried once, and this place is a lot.
It's a headache.
There's more than I could go through in a lifetime, and I am not Vivian.
I can keep an eye out for you.
Thanks.
Ready to explore a graveyard?
Yes. I have a thing I want to try.
Okay.
I have no idea if I can do this or not, but
Describe it and we'll find out.
I want to stick my hand in the dirt. We're touching the spookiness.
We're gonna stick. Are you sticking your hand in the evil dirt or just the general dirt of the graveyard?
I don't know where the evil dirt is.
Yeah, only I found the evil dirt.
But
you can find the evil dirt.
I would like to stick my hand in the evil dirt.
The evil dirt.
I would like to stick my hand at least near the evil dirt. I want to know.
That's Maria's main move.
What does the dirt feel like? I am the visceral one.
You are the visceral one.
And I want to know. I want to know if like there's some kind of. Is this dirt alive?
Okay. I think you definitely would be like could feel that because of what your powers are. I don't think you can necessarily feel the emotions of the dirt.
I don't care about the emotions. I care about the meat. I am the meat girl now.
How's the earth doing?
How is the meat of the earth doing today?
Is the meat alive, and can I make it uncomfortable?
But yeah, I will, because you like. In the light of day, it is easy to see, or at least make a fair, you can't see it moving the way that Alina could, but to make a fair assumption that the only like freshly turned grave in the old grave zone is probably where you want to
All right.
focus.
We are
you
going.
sticking your hands in the evil dirt or just near the evil dirt?
Hey, Damien.
Mm.
Do you think if I stick my hand in the dirt and it tries to eat me, will you pull me out?
I will hold on to you and make sure that you don't get pulled in.
Cool. I'm gonna stick my hands in the dirt.
Cool. Damien will brace you.
I feel like Apia. Oh my god. I feel like Alina astral projecting is seeing this and is like, God fucking damn it.
Yeah, this is happening live. As Alina is talking to the ghost. She
In
turns
the
around
background.
and she just
turning guys, I found don't do that.
Stick my hand in the dirt.
sticking your whole hands into the dirt. All right, would you like to roll power for me as you stick your hands into the dirt?
Yeah, I do.
I'm thinking,
My
if
power-
the earth is alive, I can
at-
kill it.
And as per my last advance, my power is now a goose egg instead of a negative.
Woo!
Nice.
All right, so that's just a straight 2d6. That's a 5.
Ooh! Mark experience.
We do love marking experience.
Wouldn't the help from Damien do anything?
Damien's making sure that she doesn't fall in.
Yeah.
He can't really help with this particular task. It's not very cerebral. Maria is trying to feel the meat of the earth with her hands.
Feel the meat of the earth.
So you sort of are you crouching down or are you just leaning over?
I'm kneeling
Okay.
on the earth and I sink both of my hands up to my wrists,
Okay.
which does today it's band-aids with kitten puns on it, and the kitten pun band-aids do unfortunately get very dirty.
Oh, I'm sorry there'll be dirt in your kitten band-aids.
Band-aids.
Yeah, so you stick your hands into the dirt. It feels warm in a way you're not expecting. Like a warm and musty kind of like if you left dirt that was kind of wet in the sun for a while, that kind of sensation.
Icky.
Gross. It is like the second you touch it, it is also viscerally hungry, and it's a contagious sort of hunger. So you touch the earth and it's hungry, and you're
Do I like I want to start
hungry.
eating the dirt, or
Essentially anything. You feel empty inside.
it's got to be a particularly weird sensation for me.
Yeah. Not empty as in you can't feel your insides. You can always feel your insides.
Yeah.
But
I'm still full of flesh.
Yes.
But the flesh yearns.
The flesh yearns. And you feel it begin to sort of claw at you and pull at you. And Damien feels you getting pulled forward and yanks back. But in the act of yanking you back, you get some minor scrapes and scratches along your hands and arms. And your cat bandages are dirty.
The buried stole my cat band-aids.
The buried wants your cat band-aids.
Chuck a pizza into the hole. That'll solve it.
It's really hungry. It wants some pizza.
I need a steak.
Like a wooden one?
No, I'm really
Vampire.
hungry.
Oh, okay.
Are you saying that with an earshot of Apia?
Yeah.
Probably. 'Cause
Sure,
Apia's
let's
next to
do it.
Elena's body, yeah.
Apia, like, they're like fairly far away, but like without really saying anything, they reach into their, because they're still guarding Alina's body. So they
Yeah.
like reach into their pocket and pull out a handful of like fruit snack gummy pouches made with
Sure,
like
see that.
real animal gelatin, like the old kind.
I got some jerky in the car. I'll wait. I just
Oh,
carry that. I just
Apia-
carry that now.
Apia says like, "Oh, okay," and they like
It's-
put that back in their coat, and they pull out a like what's it called? You know those containers of like they make it in-house at Winco, like the containers of pepperoni for make your own pizzas,
You
and
just
they're like
have.
yay big,
Oh my god, is that
Yeah.
pepperoni? Gimme.
and they like can't hold it out to you.
And
Apia's just like got a lot in their coat.
so Maria
I-
has
Apia's coat.
her snack, and you actually can see the scrapes on her arm just knit back
Getting
together.
back together. Yeah.
That's new. That's a thing
Cool.
that happens now.
Sick.
That's
Pretty
very
convenient.
useful.
It really is. If I carry around enough meat, I basically can't die.
I think that makes at least 3 of us that can't die that we're aware of.
It's just job security at this point.
You need to
Yeah,
get
Damien will successfully pull you away from the hole that is hungrily trying to yank you back in.
I'm
while
gonna
you
throw
eat
a
all
couple
the pepperoni.
I'm gonna throw a couple pieces of pepperoni into the hole.
They
Nice.
just they settle atop it and are not taken in.
No?
They're not living.
Want something
Meat not
fresher.
good enough for you?
A hole in
It'll-
the ground
it'll
is a
get-
picky eater.
It'll get sucked in eventually. It's just not what this thing is looking for.
Okay.
Chad has a very good point. Wash your hands.
With what?
Go to the
I don't know.
bathroom.
Figure it out.
Oh, the
Right.
graveyard's bathroom? Is that
Yeah,
a thing?
there definitely is a bathroom at the cemetery.
I mean,
I don't
if
go to
there's, like-
I don't go to a lot of cemeteries, so I don't know these things.
I'm gone.
Gee.
Jeez,
weren't a
Birdie, go to
goth
more
kid like me.
cemeteries.
too-
Ro and I
I'm
goth
too-
solidarity.
I'm too cute for that.
I
Yeah.
pretty much only go to cemeteries at night.
I
So
wear granny square cardigans.
Yeah, there's like most cemeteries, especially like they'll have like a little house like structure where like you can look up the grave plot that you're looking for, and there's also usually a bathroom, and sometimes
Okay.
depending on the size of the graveyard, there's a little gift shop. But this one doesn't have a gift shop. It's just like you can look up the place and then also like go to the bathroom and
Also-
wash your hands.
Yeah.
even if there wasn't a bathroom or the bathroom was closed or whatever, there still would be like faucets because the groundskeeper has to water the
Water
plants.
all the plants.
All right, I'm just gonna find the closest faucet and like
Begin washing your hands.
be gone.
Yeah, it's
On dirt.
it's lingering under your fingernails.
Rude.
I mean, you can just rip them off, I think.
I don't really like it still hurts. Let's be clear about that.
Yes. I don't know. I haven't read your character sheet.
It does still hurt when Alina gets hurt. Not Alina, rather Maria.
Like it's just fixable.
Well, if you really want to fix it, you can just rip them all off at once. And it will be easier that way.
I'll keep that in mind.
I'm just saying.
We can also
Anyway,
see if there's something back at the institute we can use to help deal with that.
Spooky hand sanitizer.
Haunted Purell.
me out. Hand sanitizer, but it's like holy water.
Holy water.
Holy
That work?
sanitizer.
They can bless pretty much anything, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not Catholic. Anyway, I think we have a lead,
Okay.
which is Rupert Crane.
Rupert
I am
Crane.
Googling his
That-
name.
We're gonna Google this man.
Rupert Crane, who was the person buried there, the ghost used to hang around here, but he's not doing that anymore since the gravestone got smashed. So
How did the gravestone
chasing
get
a ghost
smashed?
after all?
How did the gravestone get smashed?
My ghost friend didn't know.
I wonder if it was malicious. Can you do the thing that Vivian can do where you can just pull knowledge out of the air?
Yes.
I thought you were going to say out of your ass.
That too.
Same thing. I can, yes. To a greater and generally more upsetting extent.
Okay, so I want to ask you to do that.
Oh no, it doesn't upset me, it just upsets other people.
I don't know what that means.
Well,
but I'm
we're
Googling.
trying to solve a hazard here, so I think if
Let's
Rupert
start
is-
by Googling this man's name. I wonder if anybody hated him enough to smash his gravestone. I wonder
APS
if
says,
this was
I
done on
think I know who
purpose."
smashed his gravestone. I think it was those kids.
Oh, that could be it.
Which
I think it was
kids?
those youngsters disrespecting the dead.
They do steal from them.
I don't know.
What I'm
I-
thinking though is like this isn't a regular haunting.
Yeah, this doesn't happen every time a gravestone gets broken. I touched that dirt. It's weird.
Right. What I'm thinking is that this Rupert Crane might be some sort of
Avatar?
avatar. I was going to say entity person, and that sounded wrong.
Entity person.
Avatar, who maybe was just like could have been dead, but like the power to have lingered.
Somehow breaking the gravestone
Activated something.
changed the way that the entity could interact with the world.
Like the ghost of the guy was here. That much I know.
Yeah, and that just seems like a hell of a coincidence.
But it's not.
But first, I'm going to Google this man.
Also, after you do that, please Google. I forgot the name. Armand something. Like not
Is
just
that-
Armand.
They didn't give you a last name.
That's
Very
all.
That's all you got?
Asshole.
They did say very specifically that they didn't think you were going to find anything.
What do
Well,
I learn about
they
the
haven't been
case
around with computers.
about the case relevant man?
Right. Google that first, and then
Google the case relevant man.
and then the other one, and then help me attach this PDF to an email.
You just click and drag. It's pretty. It's not important. This man.
Rupert Crane, you learn was a founding member of the town, or rather from a founding family. Like, the town was founded in like the 1700s, but like he's from a founding family of the town, and his family is the family that built a lot of the older buildings in town. So like he comes from a line of not necessarily architects, but like construction, things like that. So he didn't necessarily do the designing, but he did a lot of the rock work and groundwork for a lot of the buildings in town, including, and not limited to the laying the groundwork for the cemetery itself.
I think we should check the basements of some of these buildings. I think we do actually have to break into buildings for this case.
You sound very excited about this, Maria. Are you okay?
Are any of us?
I don't have good ideas as much, and it's really exciting when one comes around.
All right, let's go check in the basements. AP
Let's-
is always down for breaking and entering.
Do we have
Before we
anything
do any
else?
breaking and entering, would we like to take? We'll do anything else we need to do here and then take a break.
Let's take 5.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break. We'll see you in about 10-ish minutes, give or take, and then we will come back and break and enter into some houses.
Yay!
Nice.
Hello and welcome back to Haven of Horrors. We are currently in the graveyard, having just learned that the dirt is hungry, and that the oddities surrounding the dirt seem to have happened after the gravestone of Rupert Crane was shattered. And Alina talked to a ghost who was there when our statement giver fell into the hole and saw someone who was using a seeing eye cane pull them up out of the dirt. And we return to you standing all in the graveyard, discussing where you would like to go next.
We did research the guy who was buried in the hole,
Mm-hmm.
and he was from a family of people that have some sort of stake in construction work. So
They built a lot of the
that also
foundations of the town, yeah.
right. That also opens up a very interesting point. That is, this town is so haunted, maybe for a reason, and maybe like Alina's line of thinking is jumping to maybe these people were avatars or like cultists of the buried or something like that, and that's why they worked in construction.
Yeah, that's what Maria's thinking, is maybe there's more evil dirt if we go in the basement.
Go looking for it.
I don't think we have to go to like the basement of like what basement? The cemetery's basement? I don't think.
No, like a different building that the family built. She wants to
Right.
break and enter.
I'm thinking about maybe something like City Hall or something like that might have some
Yeah, see if there's somewhere.
spookiness going on.
What's of my Google search?
Okay.
What is like the most important building that this family built?
I would like you to, for me, narrow down your importance. Like, do you mean important to you or important to the city?
Important as in potential to cause problems if it is actually a sinkhole for an eldritch god.
Got it.
That's what I said. Why I said maybe City Hall or something like that.
Yeah.
So there are a couple that stand out to you. Not the current city hall. The current city hall is a new building, but the historic city hall and like county jail is like a historical society building now. So that was built by them. And the like a couple of like older houses of worship were also built by them. Non-denominationally, they built a temple and a church and things like that. Like it was not like all for the same religious denomination necessarily.
Interesting.
And there are also a couple of older like houses, but actually, I would like you to roll for me.
Okay.
Because the last thing on the list is kind of like you'll have to do a Google deep dive.
Thought.
You're going to have to go to the second page of Google.
You have to turn the page on the Google results.
Oh my god.
Good God.
The deep web.
Right, the deep web.
We're entering the
We're
dark
going
web.
to the deep web.
Okay, so my thought is a +1.
Another
That's
thing.
a 12.
Holy shit! Good job.
I went to the third page of Google.
You went to the depths of the dark web. You got to page 5 of the Google. Like when you're looking for sources for a paper, and you're on page 5 of the Google results.
Another thing I'm thinking is if the company of like these people's construction company, if it still exists.
It does, yeah. The company that they like own, like
Are they
Crane
working?
with a Y.
Okay, so
industries.
with my 12,
Yes.
I would also like to know if they have any current projects.
Yes. You can, like, not all of them are public because some construction stuff is like not public. They have to make land, like they have to say what the land they're paying for is, but not necessarily what they're building. They have a couple of currently active like build sites, along with a couple of restoration sites because they also do historical restoration.
Okay.
But the most odd, perhaps, thing that you find is about several pages into the Googling, you find what is sort of like an archive of their old maps and blueprints they've posted online for like college papers and things if someone wants to do research. And the old Crane family manor happens to be on the grounds of, like, if you look when you're looking at the maps and you like zoom in via the microfiche on like the online microfiche, not physical microfiche, is exactly where the institute is. Like it's bigger than the institute, like because it took up more space. But the institute is built on the same grounds as the old Crane family manor.
I would like to check off on one more thing before I share my findings with the group.
Yep.
Is the Crane family involved still with the Institute?
You can do some, it doesn't take too much digging. The Institute is a public institution and they're a charity question mark. They're a nonprofit question mark. They're technically defined as a nonprofit archive. And so that you can, like, there are public records of their donations and things. And also there's like a donors banquet they hold every year out of thanks. And yes, the Crane family is one of the founding contributors to the Ravenwood Institute.
This episode is getting a lot of plots.
So this thing
This thing close to my phone
holds secrets. So I did some Googling. I did some digging. Real deep dive, like page 4 deep dive. The family of this man was very involved in construction. A lot of buildings around town were built by this family, including the historic city hall and county jail. That's interesting. What's more interesting is they also built their family home on the same plot of land that we all work on. The person that has exited this grave was a founding donor of the Ravenwood Institute, which somehow doesn't surprise me even a little bit.
I'm sorry. These people live on the office, on the building?
Not anymore, but our
right.
The Ravenwood Institute's building is their family home. Is not their old family home. I don't know exactly how it works.
Right, they used to live where we now work.
But what this means is if we want to go checking in any basements,
we have our own basement.
We do. Have any of you ever been in the basement? Because I think that was not included on my orientation.
I have been in the basement.
I don't know. Has Apia been in the basement?
It would have to be if Apia went looking for it. The basement is not like super accessible or easy to find.
Isn't artifact storage in the basement?
Yes, there is a basement. So like you'd have it's essentially like you'd have to pick the lock and get in. It's like it's a door and some stairs.
So Damien,
I've been down to artifact storage, but I haven't been down like
To the sub
looking
basement.
around.
Right.
Yeah.
when you went to this basement,
Hmm.
did it try to eat you?
No.
Then I'm out of questions.
It's very dark, but it didn't try to eat me, as far as I was aware.
Is it
think we
otherwise evil?
I think everything
It's the
about the
Institute.
Institute is evil.
That's a good point. Do we want
No less evil than the director's office.
should we keep
Check on the
digging?
basement.
Or should we just
I
leave
think we
it?
should go to the basement.
Keep digging.
I don't know, maybe I know I've been pretty gung ho about the whole breaking and
Breaking and
entering and
entering.
like spooky investigation. But I don't know if I'm ready to find out what's in our basement.
I think we better just like check on the missing ghost of
Mr. Crane.
Mr. Crane. Mr. Crane. Sure. I forgot the name. Rupert Crane. I think we should. I'm actually thinking about the. Okay. Just to summarize,
Hmm.
for clarity's sake, for me, the tomb of what's probably a follower of the buried got defiled, and the
And it set him
ghost
free.
of that person is no longer there. But given that the guy was probably an avatar, like some energy is lingering and doing the churning of dirt at the cemetery. But since the ghost is not there anymore, it might be haunting the people that broke the grave. Apia suggested that maybe the indie artist group of kids who were fucking around the cemetery might be the ones that broke the grave. So
Always
we should
theater
check in
kids.
on that.
Make sure they're not being haunted.
Make sure
My
they're not
guess-
being hunted, or make sure if they are being hunted, maybe they deserve it. But
I had a
Um,
different hypothesis, which is
if they can
that
find the ghost.
somebody let him out on purpose.
That's another one. But if they wanted to let him out on purpose, I don't think they needed to break the grave. Breaking the grave seems more like something that happens accidentally.
Or angrily.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, it doesn't seem like a thought out thing to do. So I say we keep our promise of going to check on the statement giver, go check on her, and ask if she knows where to find the other kids that were at the cemetery. Because they might be all dead.
I hope they're not all
Right
dead.
side.
I mean,
I hope so too.
anyway.
So we'd like to go and see the statement giver before we poke around in our basement, or we're gonna poke around in the historical society.
I think not poking in our own basement is not.
I think that's not our
I mean,
priority, but it's in the back of
It's
our
not
minds.
pertinent to the case, I think.
Let's
Yeah.
solve this case first, and then we can check our closets for skeletons.
Right. There probably are like a few.
Yeah.
Those are just your friends.
The bigger challenge is figuring out which skeletons are relevant.
The archive is a mess. Anyway. Also, if you could check in on that thing I asked about the guy called Armand that died in 1840 something.
Maybe later.
Thanks.
Google the extreme
I'll teach
vague
you-
question.
I will teach you how to
Extreme
use
vague question.
Google later, and you can do this
I
yourself.
know how to use it. I'm just bad at it.
It's
Apia can't
All right.
touch technology or it'll explode.
All right. I'm gonna like click my keys, and the minivan blinks. We're getting back in the Maria Mobile.
Have you decorated it?
No.
I think
There's
you could paint it one day.
There's a little air freshener, and it's very cute. I have my like Bluetooth set up. No, it's not a Bluetooth. It's an aux cord in the cassette player situation.
Ooh.
What?
Oh, if it's a cassette player, Apia probably has a cassette of something that they can put on.
Anything but Taylor
Anything
Swift.
but Taylor Swift.
Hand me the aux cord. You better not play trash.
It's just it's the how
I'm
do
the
you-
only one of me. Baby,
one of
what's
those
the fun
like
of me?
military Soviet code radio. That's what
It's like a
APA
number. It's like a Soviet number station.
They like
Yeah.
if they do
Or-
play the tape, it's
or-
just a series of like Morse code messages that don't mean anything.
So yeah, the
Yeah,
whole
that's the
time
good
we
sh-
listened to Apia's music on the way home, and Maria's
And
just like,
Apia is just sitting here like this, just like it's like Morse code messages over like loud static. And they're just like
Apia's
they're vibing.
jamming.
Apia's vibing.
Everyone else is like mildly panicked.
Maria's like singing Taylor
Mildly
Swift.
concerned.
Maria is like singing Taylor Swift under her breath to comfort herself.
Apia's music taste is just a white noise with the occasional like beeping over it.
Alina is fine with that.
It's
But
not
yeah.
even white noise, it's like fucking like the brown noise or whatever that is.
But yeah, you
Brown note.
you get to the
Baby,
statement
there's no
giver's
I
house.
in team, but you know there is a me.
Is that a Taylor Swift song?
It's the
The
worst
mood for
one.
this The mood for this episode is Maria panickedly singing Taylor Swift over Apia's terrible
When,
like white noise industrial music.
when you make your memes of the week, Birdie, can one of them do it to be a Taylor Swift meme?
I haven't done that in a while, but yes.
Maria just laying face down on the ground, and it
Alina
says in
might
brackets,
be dead in the back seat. We don't know.
We don't know.
It
It's
just
not
says like
confirmed.
Taylor Swift playing on the background.
Taylor Swift claims another victim.
But yeah, you drive to the statement giver's house. It's a house that has been like sort of like turned into rooms for people to rent out essentially. So like they don't live here with like their family or whatever. They're renting the basement, and then other people are renting the rest of the house.
Oh,
Oh.
basement. I wonder if it's evil.
Probably.
Was this house built by the Cranes?
Google.
To ask.
I think
You-
Is it
Maria
like no?
like made a list in her phone of like all the addresses she could just copy and paste, and so
Mhm.
she's gonna check and look for this address quickly.
This house is not old enough to have been designed by the crane whose ghost you're looking for, but it was built, as most of the houses in this area were, by their construction company.
Suspicious.
I have to meet Birdie has to step away for just a moment, but
No worries.
I'll be right back.
No worries. Take whatever time you need. But yeah,
What?
I said, but yeah, you are at the house.
Cool.
I'm just thinking about like how later on Alina has to go back to the cemetery.
To wait or to wait around.
To wait around, just stalk the cemetery like the creepy hag that she is.
I guess we're gonna. Well, Avia wants to knock on the door.
You knock on the door, and a person answers and just looks at you and the other people behind you like, can I help you? Sorry.
We're from
We're
the
looking for
Ravenwood Institute. We're looking for. I can't remember the statement giver's
Althea.
name.
Althea.
We're looking for someone named Althea.
I remember
Oh.
because it's the name of a character in my comic book.
Oh! Oh, yeah, they're downstairs. You can head on in.
Thank you.
Here we go.
And they just like kind of call back like, Althea, you got guests. And then walk away from the door.
Cool.
And like after some like tapping, someone comes up the stairs, and Althea is like average height, so taller than Damien and Maria, but not as tall by any means as Apia. We're like 5'6", 5'7".
5'4" is statistically average.
That's true. I'm 5'4". I need to remind myself that more often.
We are statistically average. I will not be slandered.
With like about chin length, very curly dark hair, and as she's like as they're talking, she's like picking at their fingernails. Hi, you're
We
all.
spoke on the phone earlier.
Yeah. Hi.
This is gonna sound weird, but can I touch the floor of your basement house?
Yeah. Sure.
Just go with it.
guess.
Just
Oh.
go with it.
Okay. Yeah. This way. Down the stairs. It's a
Yeah.
cute little basement. Like it's not like a creepy hell basement. It's a finished basement. So like there's lights down here and
Creepy
it's
hell basement,
You've
like
done-
what? Like the one from the previous game?
yeah.
It's nice
like
in here.
yeah, thanks. I mean, I didn't do all the like painting and woodwork or whatever, but
Cozy little place.
yeah.
Anyway.
I'm probably gonna move, but
Understandable. So Maria is gonna just like kneel down again and just like press her hand, like the evil dirt got a taste for her.
mm-hmm.
Is there any familiar energy?
Familiar evil dirt energy.
Yes. Does this dirt want to eat me?
Want to give me a power roll again?
Yeah.
But you can take a +1 because you know what you're looking for.
Okay. That's another 5.
Oof. Mark experience?
With the +1?
Yeah.
Oof. Did you roll snake eyes? No, not quite.
Well,
Rolled a 4.
I rolled a 3 and a 1.
Ah.
Um,
Oof.
I'm gonna check for ghosts. So Linus is just going to like sit and take a quick nap.
Avia, just for want of something to do, is just gonna see if they can feel anything. They're not particularly. I mean, like, they have experience with like death and auras, so
yeah.
they're gonna just see if anything feels weird in here. Like, if anybody's in here that's not supposed to be in here, because they're kind of an expert at knowing that.
Yeah.
This from Althea's point of view is very funny. Like,
Yeah,
fucking
we've got one
these
person sitting on the
weirdos.
floor, one person taking a nap on their couch.
Don't worry, we're professionals.
One person looking around, and the other
Apia.
person just kind of like the fourth person just kind of like brain examining everything, getting a headache.
T-posing.
So,
Um,
does anything happen with that failure, or
You can't really feel much of anything, and you don't have enough of a grasp on it to know if it's because there's a layer of cement and like linoleum between you and the real dirt, or if there's really not anything here that you can like tell. Like not under the ground at least. There's nothing under like from beneath that is trying to come up. Astral projection wise, there are no ghosts in the room. There aren't any ghosts in the basement, so that's exciting. Um, like you can tell that Althea is haunted, like that much is obvious, even without astral projecting. Um, they do just kind of, and like everyone can see it, not just you. They do just kind of like drip dirt. Like they have, like they're not wearing shoes. They're not tracking mud in from the outside, but dirt just seems to be following them around their room.
Setting.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
I
I'm
would
just
try
imagining
to
trying to sleep when you're just made of dirt.
I would try to help, but I think you know where your body is. It's just dirty.
It doesn't go away.
Thinking if
Well,
we know of a
she,
way to sort of help this.
She like
Like-
waggles her fingers like, well, I touched it too. So if I figure out how to make it stop, I'll give you
Oh.
a call.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I've touched worse.
Like I
I'm
know how to
sorry
make
again.
like I know how to sever the connection, but they would die.
No.
Let's hold off on the killing the statement giver until we're absolutely sure we have no other choice.
I'm not killing anyone without their consent. Unless
I don't
they're
want to
bad.
die.
I feel like the statement giver probably wants us to leave now.
I don't want to die.
It's fine.
We're
Your
not.
choice.
Okay.
Speaking of the dead, do you know? Do you have any way to contact? I was going to say your friends, but I'm assuming they are not your friends anymore after that little thing that happened. Do you know how to contact them or where they would?
I mean, we had like a
gather?
group text to let us know to come to the cemetery, or I mean, their little like theater, but it's not really a theater. It's a converted like house space is downtown.
That would be good. We want to check if they are haunted too.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I can give you the address. And she writes it down on a piece of paper and hands it to you.
Thanks. Probably best if you avoid spaces that are below ground.
Yeah, I've been.
Don't take the subway.
Yeah, I'm looking into not being here. I can't sleep here. It's rough.
If it helps, what's happening to you is real.
Yeah, that actually does. Thanks.
We've seen a lot weirder
And
than
if-
this.
At
If
the
it gets-
Ravenwood Institute, we believe a lot because we've seen a lot.
I saw
We
this,
believe a thing
but
or two because we've seen a thing or two.
Hey, do you wanna make our new slogan and just tape that to the wall? I support you wholeheartedly.
So anyway, if you get any weird superpowers relating to dirt,
Let us know.
I think the Institute is still hiring. I don't know.
Okay, okay. I'll be on the lookout, I guess. Okay.
If you're gonna be cursed, might as well get a job out of it. Doesn't
they literally can't
much.
fire you.
that one's good. It's job security.
It's very
Tempting. I'll think about it, I guess.
It is dangerous though.
Let's
Yeah,
just
well,
keep
my
investigating.
boots are full of dirt all the time, so
Anyway,
The worst
Bye.
superpower ever.
Good luck.
This is my ability. My boots just fill with dirt. That's it. All right. Well.
Good luck with that shit. Bye.
Bye. If you need anything else, question-wise, I'll be here for a little bit until I move.
Well, Cole, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool, we're leaving now.
We've been in the basement. We're leaving the basement.
It's funny to find someone that's like
That was pretty
suffering from one of these curses and go
that
like,
was,
yeah, sucks, man. Bye.
that was pretty unproductive.
I feel so useless. I feel so useless
You're
during
not
this. I haven't done
useless.
anything.
No.
I think the most I've done is give Maria a thing of pepperoni.
You're making up for like pulling the most badass move of the campaign last session. We need to
Yeah.
nerf you for a
We're
little bit.
AP has taken a nap because they used their own headspace to free someone from the spiral last session. The most fucking powerful thing you can do with your brain. But yeah,
Anyway,
I mean, again,
go to the.
I feel like it's important to make y'all not feel so bad that like your job isn't necessarily to help people. You might not be able to help the statement giver directly.
We
I
have
don't
we
think
have
it
our own.
ever helps anyone.
We have. So were we gonna check the historical society, or do we just want to wrap this up for now?
I think we were going to check on the theater kids to see if they are haunted too.
Oh yeah, see if the theater kids are dead.
I really like the idea of y'all just walking in and there's just like
They're
people
just
lying on the floor.
We could probably check their social media to see if they've been posting about
Updated.
See if they
Update,
posted
I'm
about
fucking dead, dog.
Well, if they're talking about having an upcoming performance, they're probably not dead. I mean, they did say it was avant-garde theater, but
Avant-garde theater dies on stage.
Drops dead.
A death drop, but you actually die.
If you would like to check their social media,
I would like to check the social media of the avant-garde theater troupe.
So the theater troupe itself, you learn from their social media, doesn't have a like theater that they call home. They rent spaces to perform in. They're like a traveling troupe in that they like travel from place to place in town. They don't like go far away. And their current exhibition is an interactive theater experience where you walk through an old house where all the actors are working.
Ah,
Sounds terrible. I feel like ethically we should be checking for evil dirt in the basement, but I also really don't want to.
I really don't want to experience avant-garde theater.
Yeah, I've experienced spider people. I've experienced darkness cults. I've experienced sentient evil slime molds. But the one place
I draw
where
the
I
line
draw the line
At theater
is
kids.
interactive theater.
I draw the line at theater kids.
Avant-garde interactive theater kids. That's like a special evil subspecies of theater
I'll
kid.
go. AP is willing to go because AP is dead inside. And they just need to make sure these kids aren't dead outside and then we can leave.
All right, well, I'm gonna go drop you off.
Have fun at the theater.
I'm following the theater kids.
Well,
My
they
high
have
school
Enigma
had
will go
something like
too.
they have a performance tonight. We could probably get the Ravenwood Institute to buy us a ticket.
Yeah, you could.
Probably like $1.
Expense it.
Just expense it. I don't care.
Thank you. Can we just
The institute is
expense
going to
normal
have
things?
to pay us money for us
Essentially,
to
you could, yes.
but I feel like that would be fraud.
go. And
Is that where you draw the line?
No, I just think it's an important thing to keep in mind.
The Ravenwood
When breaking the
Institute,
law, it's best to know what you're breaking.
the Ravenwood Institute is going to start getting expense reports for the most fancy cat food that exists. Just like real nice, like organic, raw.
The ones that are human grade that like people
Yeah,
could eat if they
like
wanted to.
human grade cat food. Only the best meat for my children.
Fair enough.
My-
Damien's just like, oh yeah, that's fine. Maria's eating it.
She has new dietary restrictions since taking this job.
My favorite joke that somebody did on TikTok is there was a bunch of discourse about whether it's ethical to make your dog vegan or not. Spoiler, it's not. But somebody was like, here's what I feed my vegan dog, and they put like a bunch of salad in a bowl and they put it on the ground and it's a rabbit. My vegan dog. Anyway.
But yeah.
anyway, let's see how if this performance is to die for.
All right.
Is anyone going with Apia, or is it just Apia and the theater
no.
kids?
No, Alina will go.
Fine.
What? You don't have to come if you don't want to.
I feel peer pressured.
Oh.
If you don't want
Fair.
to go, you don't have to. I stay home almost all the time.
I'm going.
All right. We roll up to the historical old-timey house they're doing this in. It's like a really old house, one of those old like Victorians downtown.
Do we know which kid is there any way for us to recognize which kid is like the ringleader, or like kid, like college student is
Yeah.
the ringleader who wanted to steal bouquets from the freaking graveyards?
If you wanted to, you could have asked.
Okay.
If on your way out you had asked like what Eric looked like, you could have.
Okay,
I'm okay with
cool.
that.
Oh, he has a name.
All right.
He does.
Yeah.
It's in the statement.
We're looking for Eric.
Walked in. Where the fuck is Eric?
Yeah, because Apia I specifically want to use one of my moves on Eric.
Ooh. But yeah, Eric, I would like you to picture a theater student. I would just like you to picture one. Whatever image is in your head is correct.
Cool. I hate him. I already hate
A
him.
stock photo of a white man.
Yeah, like if you Googled theater college student stock photo, whichever one shows up first is Eric.
I'm doing that.
It's a white guy with dreads.
Oh. I
No,
can't wait to know what you find, Kestrel.
Honestly, me too.
The theater kids are usually a little bit more preppy than the white guy with dreads.
Yeah, they're a little bit more like not quite clean cut, but pretending they're clean cut.
Right.
So yeah, we're gonna drive up.
Yep.
Present our tickets.
I was gonna say the dreads are clip-on.
And experience some avant-garde theater.
I'd describe the mood for you because I don't know how your character will react for it. For me personally, it would be uncomfortable, but that doesn't mean that it is for everyone. Um, what the performance consists of, essentially, is you walking through the various rooms of this house, and you can stop and sit in a room for as long as you'd like and experience it. And it is an examination of broken households and like the silence and the snide conversations and exclusion and all of those things, and it's just you sitting in the living room or the dining room with actors playing family members in a like broken household.
Is
And they
this
don't-
supposed to be entertaining?
No. Have you ever went to one of those things? I have. It's not.
It's not.
I was either going like what you're describing is very on point. But the other experience with avant-garde theater that I had was a very, very normal story told in a very obtuse way. That's like the other the
yeah,
two
that's the other extreme.
Mine was puppets moving extremely slowly for an hour and a half while nothing happened.
Actually, that I like more. God.
Also,
sometimes they would like rattle chains along the floor or like shine a light in your eyes.
I posted the first like man that popped up when I googled like
Man.
drama department student college stock photo, basically a bunch of different keywords.
That guy looks like
my only experience
Eric.
with this sort of theater is actually good. We had a haunted house in my high school. It was run by the drama department, and it was billed as an open house. And at the end of the tour of the school, the guide was like, all right, now it's time to meet the students. And they would take you into the gym, and then a bunch of like students dressed as monsters would like kill them and drag them into another room. And then they would chase you into the haunted house.
That's fun. I love that.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like
that's-
everything was a scene, and somebody built a dragon out of cardboard so that you couldn't really see it because the walls were also covered floor to ceiling in cardboard until they started piloting it and it started moving and it would like snap at people. So it was actually like we worked on it for weeks. It was really fun and actually like good because we cared.
Yeah, that's what
good.
the performance is.
So that they're alive.
Anyway,
and
where's
making
Eric?
really bad theater.
They are alive and
Wait,
making
where's-
uncomfortable theater. Eric,
Where's Eric?
Eric is playing the father in the kitchen. Very
Okay.
specifically.
I would like to use I don't really I can't really say like my 1 or my 2 because it's kind of just floating in the middle of my
Yeah.
character sheet. So shadow figures.
Okay.
I'm
Do
gonna
you have
roll
to
power.
for that? Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna try to fuck this man up. Hold on. Uh 9.
9 is a partial success.
Yeah.
Does that one
So
have
I'm just
condition-
staring at this man.
That one doesn't have conditions, does it? It's just your ability.
No, it's just an ability.
No. Yeah, so you stare this man down in the middle of his like scene, and everywhere else you've been in this house, no one has broken character yet. Like, it's encouraged for you to like try and like speak to the actors, and like they will speak to you. Like, it's not all scripted, but they will never like break their like characters, and like the various other actors can call them back into the scene essentially. And you haven't seen anyone break yet, but you watch as like his eyes start flickering from side to side, and like there's he's like he like goes back to like doing his lines with his scene partner, but the energy is like different because he keeps sort of like twitching his head and like looking around for something.
I also
that...
want nobody in this house to remember me except Eric. That's
Perfect.
one of my abilities.
It is.
I want nobody in this house but him to remember that I was here.
Perfect. Yep. You exit the room with Eric in it, leaving him spooked and looking for things in corners that he can't see, and no one but him remembers that you were there.
Apia does not approve of like grave robbing innocent people.
Oh, I will also say that the like from what you can guess walking through the house, they used the bouquets as set dressing.
Yeah.
So they're in like
That's not cool.
They're in vases throughout the house.
Oh,
Um,
assholes.
yeah. And also, it's quite clear which one was Altea's. Because remember, they got one of the like not as good like old bouquets from the old graveyard as opposed to the new fresh ones that everyone else was encouraged to take. And that one's kind of like hidden on a side table rather than being a centerpiece.
Right. I'm gonna check for
Yikes.
ghosts.
You're gonna check for ghosts?
For ghosts.
Okay. Would you like to
Just have a
astral
little
project?
nap while they also like have a little nap while they are doing their play.
Taking a nap in your fucking play. Get over it.
Fuck you, takes a nap during her avant-garde theater production.
Yeah, you astral project out. There's not any necessarily direct manifestations, like not whole people, but you can tell there is a lot of unhappy energy in this space, probably because it's filled with things stolen from dead people. But yeah, there's not any direct ghosts present. There's just a lot of anger.
Like Rupert followed them or something like that, but
This place looks pretty clean. Can we leave?
Let's go.
Let's go. I'm wondering where Rupert is, though.
I have a hunch that he's I have a hunch that he's in our basement.
I hate how right you are, or at least how right you possibly are.
One last thing before we leave. Mm-hmm. Is it feasible for Apia to would it be taking my like hammer space coat too far to leave a dead mouse in one of the bouquets?
I feel like if it's something you think Apia would have, like they would have a dead mouse, I will let you have that dead mouse.
Very in character.
Yeah. I don't think it's unreasonable for Apia to keep dead things in their coat.
Or have
they
just
like pull
found
out
a dead mouse in the house and like moved it.
They pull out this like plastic baggie from their coat, and it's got like a couple of dead small animals in it that they just pick up as they're like walking around, and they like nestle one into the bouquet so that it's not like readily seeable, but once you pick it up it will fall out. Just because Apia is like really mad that these guys are like disturbing the dead, because while Apia also disturbs the remains of dead people, they're all bad people. These people didn't do anything. All they did was die. So that's the last thing I want to do before we leave.
Perfect.
I hope Eric finds that.
Perfect.
I hate him.
Right.
That's fair.
I guess we'll check the basement.
Can we take a rain check on that?
I mean, if it's not going to do anything anytime soon, probably. We don't have to necessarily go digging around in the Institute basement right away.
Damien, dude, don't you have like clearance for that? We don't have to break in, right?
Oh no, I can unlock the door. I have the keys.
Okay.
We can make an adventure of that if you so choose.
Let's
make an adventure of that. I don't think we have any other leads at the moment.
Yeah, we've been driving around all day touching creepy basements and finding a whole lot of nothing. So maybe we all sleep on it.
Maybe we
I
go
don't
mark
know.
off a grave with caution tape.
I don't know if we all sleep.
Oh, I was thinking about that. Shit, I forgot to tell
Yeah.
like the ground speaker, hey, there's a hole.
There's a
You
There's
could-
hole.
some.
You could call the groundskeeper and tell them that.
Tell them
There's
to
a tripping hazard
careful.
around a grave.
Yeah, but don't touch the dirt.
Don't touch the dirt, though.
It will eat you.
We should probably be the ones to mark it off.
Yeah. Don't worry, I have fake police tape for this exact purpose.
Party City
Seems in
police tape.
character. Too. Hmm.
It's expensed. Quick trip back to the graveyard to cordon off the grave and be like, do not enter.
No enter. It's
Don't touch this thing.
There's more
And
to
it looks
find it.
freshly turned enough that like it's reasonable to have some caution tape there. Like people aren't going to question it because the dirt is so recently turned. So at least for,
Yeah, like
for
we
a
should-
while.
I feel like, oh, maybe next time, but I feel like we should do something about the hole that eats people in the graveyard. But
You could just throw some dynamite into it, maybe.
There's some cement.
Fill it in with
I feel like
cement.
that's a recipe for evil cement.
There's only
Yeah,
two things
that's
that
what I
can
was
stop
gonna
eldritch
say.
horror, according to Magnus: love and cement.
I mean, Apia could just keep throwing cops into it until it stops being so angry.
That is absolutely a thing Apia could do, and I essentially would let you do that if you wanted to. If you want to feed the hole in the ground pigs until it's no longer hungry, go right ahead.
I'll think about it.
would that make the hole your pet?
So
Pet hole?
I think at that point you've got a pet entrance to the buried.
Sure.
All right.
Not as
Not quite the satisfying
Eventful.
conclusion we usually get, but
no, but
Eh,
now you've got some new things to consider.
we do.
I mean, Alina is very happy with this case. If it's if there's the possibility that, like, Alina will now routinely haunt that graveyard until she runs into, you know,
The person
the person.
that she thinks she's looking for. Yeah, so you can return to the institute. There is a way for you to keep tabs on the statement giver in case things get worse or better. You can just check in periodically if necessary. But as you arrive at the institute, there is a figure standing behind Damien's desk. You recognize them. It's the director. And she gives you all a look over and says, "There's going to be someone here to see you soon, but she can't come inside." And that's all she says before heading back upstairs. And we're going to leave it there. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our episode today. I will let everyone do their outros. Backwards order would be Castro first, yes.
Hi, my name is Kestrel. I use these them, theirs pronouns. I have been playing Apia, who uses they, them, theirs pronouns.
Ro.
Hi, I'm Ro. I use they, them pronouns, and I've been playing Alina, who uses she, her pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at Ro Violich, or you can also follow. I'm dumb, sorry. You can follow the fantasy webcomic I do which I write and my partner illustrates. It's called Of Dwarfs and Men, and you can find it like that on Twitter, or you can just go to the site, which is rlefcomics.com, and if you want to read something like that.
And Birdie.
You're muted.
I have been Birdie playing Maria. And I need to be muted right now. There is background noise.
No worries. And I have been Rue, your narrator for this evening. It's not evening. It's 2 p.m. for me. And you can find me on Twitter as @IlanaKnight13 and everywhere else as just Ilana Knight, because I got locked out of my Twitter when I was 12, and 12 years later it still haunts me. And aside from running this game here, I also play in a Mutants and Masterminds game every other Monday on Everybody Crits. And if you want to play this system yourself, it is a system I wrote, and you can find it on my itch, which is ilanaknight.itch.io. I also do voice acting for podcasts, and you can see the podcasts I'm on my Twitter. So thank you for joining us this week. We will see you again in 2 weeks on the 16th. I did some math, where we will be maybe having some time at the Institute. Might be a differently structured episode next time around, and perhaps we will have Ari back. I would also like to thank Alls, who has been doing our tech today. Without her, we would not have a stream running nearly so smooth. So thank them very much for us, and thank Heroes at Limits for hosting us on the channel. I would also like to thank my partner, Liquid Rena, who made all of the graphics that you've seen, so the one that you're currently looking at, as well as our starting soon and be right back screens. And you can find them on Twitter as @LiquidRena, and they do commissions for graphic design and stuff. And with that, I will see you all in 2 weeks' time for some more spooky shenanigans. Thank you for coming.
Bye.